All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to episode 368 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and today we're going to talk about some Georgia Southern football. One of our quarterbacks officially has transferred to another school. We're going to talk about that and everything under that umbrella. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller once again. I talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. Also, I can be found on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And I want to thank you guys before I get into this. The all the feedback and all the consistent viewership. I mean, you guys have been great. I cannot thank you guys enough. And it just constantly keeps me going, and I just can't wait till football season starts where we can really start getting into real deep content about what's going on the field. And throughout the off season, you guys have been giving me a lot of support, and I really, really appreciate it. I cannot thank you guys enough. If you want to support, all the links are down in the description. And let's go ahead and get into this. Cam Ransom was basically my favorite recruit of 2020. I really thought that he was going to be like that guy. He was going to be the program changer. Unfortunately, with Chad Lunsford, with all the things going on, he was relieved of his duties, and now he's down at FAU. But I think this was the quarterback. If everything was going to continue to go in the direction that it was going, positive-wise, Cam Ransom could have turned this program around. Him and Chad Lunsford together single-handedly. Now, you could make a debate if we needed a new offensive coordinator. We needed something to cater to his style of play. That's debatable, and I'm leaning on that side of the debate. But I will say that this was the best recruit that Chad Lunsford picked up that never panned out because of the other situation we talked about. I really feel that with Cam Ransom being at 6'3", 215 pounds, he was able to bring his skill set to the table to something that we never really saw at Georgia Southern. I can go out on a limb and say ever. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the quarterbacks we had back in the day, or some of the current ones, but we never had a guy that come to the school with this size and this type of athleticism and able to throw the ball the way that he did. He just needed a little bit of polish, and he needed an offense to cater to what he can do, because I felt like he could have been able to flourish in the new offense that we have now with Clay Helton. I think the problem with this is when you really have a change like this in coaching staff, where you have all this other stuff going on with defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, basically the entire philosophy and the culture changes within a football program. The guys who was here before, especially when it's an exclusive position like the quarterback, they're probably going to feel like they're the odd man out. And in some cases, I believe that Cam Ransom was. It was a new offense. This probably was something that was new to him that he had to learn. I felt like if he could have, if he would have stuck around more, it would have been fine. But the flip side of that is when you bring in a new coach, when you bring in a new philosophy, he wants his guys. And lo and behold, he wanted his guys. Kyle Van Treese, Zach Roseman, David Dallas, Richie Langford, Connor Selgelski stuck around. If you look at what Coach Helton's trying to do, those are the quarterbacks that he wanted. Unfortunately, Cam Ransom was kind of like on the outside looking in, which I don't really agree with it, but I'm not the coach and I don't make those decisions. I feel like Cam Ransom could have been QB2 or QB3 for that instance and learn behind a Kyle Van Treese. But there's been other rumblings of other things that have been going on off the field, which I don't really want to get into, rumor-wise. And I think that kind of curtailed a lot of things that was supposed to happen with Cam Ransom and his growth and development. Nevertheless, he ended up in the transfer portal after the spring game, and once the spring game was over, we kind of knew that he wasn't going to come back, because there's times when you enter the transfer portal, you could, very well come back to the team, and I'm pretty sure that the way Coach Helton deal with certain, players or whatever the case may be, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been a problem. But at the same time, they're going to continue to move forward with what they do. So it's been a while since we heard from Cam Ransom as far as what he's going to do. Now, there was other rumblings of other players. Like I did a video about Sean Pelkisson. He ended up going back towards a little bit closer where he lives in the Rhode Island. He transferred from Georgia Southern and went to Rhode Island, which I'd really wish him the best because I think we really missed out on a defensive player. I want to say this, and I don't know if Miss Tara is listening to me. Shout out to Miss Tara, phenomenal supporter of the show. I felt like we missed out on a Sunbelt Defensive Player of the Year in Sean Pelkisson. And I'm not saying that to be funny. If this kid would have just played the position that he was really good at, which is defensive end and or linebacker, I think we missed out on a real chance to have a dominant force on defense with that kid. And it's unfortunate that it never played out to where we wanted it. But he ended up transferring as well and going to Rhode Island, and I'm going to continue to watch him just as much as I want to watch Cam Ransom because he ended up committing to McNeese State, FCS school in Louisiana, and I think that this is going to be a really good move for him. I'm not sure if he's going to play right away, but I'm definitely going to be watching to see. I think with a person like Cam Ransom and Sean Pelkisson, I think these are two kids that are not on the Georgia Southern roster that I'm going to continue to follow throughout their entire collegiate career because I think these guys are guys that we missed out on mainly because I feel like Cam Ransom just got swallowed up in the quarterback depth chart, and I also feel that Sean Pelkisson was just misused, and I hate the fact that that was the case for both. But I think we really missed out, and I don't want to make it a Sean Pelkisson show because everybody knows I'm a big fan of him. I think we really missed out on a really big, a really big player with Sean Pelkisson. I think we really missed out on that. Yes, baby. My wallet, leave it on this table. I'll get it, okay? Okay. My son said he got my wallet. Oh, I love my son. He is the best. Now, with Cam Ransom going to McNeese State, I feel like he's going to ball out. I think he's going to be fine. I think at the end of the day, with him going down to the FCS, and I'm not sure what McNeese State football type of offense that is, but I'm pretty sure that he did his homework and he knows what they're capable of. And I think with his skill set, he's going to be fine in pretty much any type of offense. He's mobile. He can throw the ball. I think he just needs to polish his mechanics a little bit, but I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to be good where he is. And I just can't wait to see what he does because I felt like this kid's skill set was going to take over the Sun Belt. I think it really could have. And it showed flashes to where when he played at Georgia Southern, he moved the ball like this. First pass was a touchdown. They moved the ball so fast. I mean, even the game against Georgia State, when we were struggling against them, as soon as Cam Ransom comes in the game, we move right down the field and score a touchdown. And I don't understand where our team just did not understand to use him more, It almost, to an extent, it seemed like he was kind of underused as well. But the problem with that is, and there was really no problem with that. It's just at the end of the day, when you bring in a new coach in, they're going to want their philosophy or whatever the case may be. For 2021, his passing yards, he was 39 to 83, no interceptions, or 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, threw for 494 yards. In limited playing time, he played 9 games, but he didn't start all those games. It doesn't say how many snaps he took. But he was able to run the ball, 38 attempts for 113 yards, no touchdowns. Longest run was 32 yards. So he was somewhat of a dual threat. He had almost 500 yards and almost 120 yards or 110 yards rushing. He just didn't have much time. He didn't play as much. It kind of reminds me like of a Sean Pelkisson. But at the end of the day, I want this kid to be great. I want him to be really good. I think he's going to be phenomenal when it comes to him playing quarterback at that level. Definitely going to be watching him, and I think it's going to be a beautiful thing to see. So I don't know if anybody else is going to be following and see what he does, but I think he's going to be great. With the skill set he has, the type of player that he is, for the most part, he's always been professional. So I've never seen anything that was off the field that was a problem. So for him to go to Louisiana and actually play football, I think he's going to make a difference. I think he's going to make a difference more, faster than we all think. I don't know what the depth chart looks like. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll look into it and make another video about that down the road. But based on what they have there already, I don't know if he could play right away, but I'm rooting for him, and I don't see why he would not play right away. I don't know the level of quarterbacks they have there, but I'm going to be biased and say that he's the best one on the roster right now. I'm just going to say that. But I can't wait to see how this plays out. Before I go, I want to say this. It's maybe a little shorter episode, but it is what it is. Shout out to Georgia Southern football camp. I mean, they had a really looked like the camp was a success. A lot of kids came through, thanking the coaching staff and the program for putting on a pretty good show for the football camp that they had. A lot of athletes out there showing off their skills. A lot of people showing love and support and putting their face out there to continue to build this football this football community in Statesboro. I think they've done a very good job. Kids from all over the state, and I think even out of state. I'm not 100% sure, but kids from all over the place was actually there showing off their talent. And I've seen a couple of good wide receivers out there. I've seen a couple of good linemen out there as well. So I'm really, really surprised that kids are continuously gravitating to the school. And the reason why I say I'm surprised because I didn't realize, and I'm still to this day, I'm going to tell you, I did not realize how big this thing could be with Coach Clay Helton. I think he's doing something phenomenal at Georgia Southern. When you have kids from all over the country, basically, like I said, you got defensive backs coming in from Fresno State. You got a quarterback coming in from Buffalo. You got kids coming from all over, all over the Southeast, all over the state of Georgia coming in to be a part of Georgia Southern football in some form or fashion is a great thing. And I'm not sure that we even touched the surface of how deep this can go as far as how far and entrenched Georgia Southern football could be within the Southeast. Now, you have these other schools like, the Georgia Bulldogs, and you have Clemson right up the road. South Carolina is around the way. Florida is right under Georgia Southern. Auburn, Alabama. I mean, we're in a circle full of a lot of big name power schools, and we're still able to bring in a lot of good recruits. I think that's a really good thing. We're able to bring in a lot of good people into the system for Georgia Southern, and I think that's even if we don't have all these players commit, I still think this is a good look where our names are out there, our faces out there. People know that we're putting on a pretty good program, and it'll garner results in the long run. Oh, last but not least, before I get out of here, shout out to our athletic director Jared Benko. He was able to solidify a game against Kansas State. Georgia Southern is going to play Kansas State in 2027. Yes, I know it's 5 years away, but I am here for that because I'm going to go to that game. I used to live in Kansas, and I want to go. I needed a reason to go back because there are some places in the Kansas that I really miss. And believe it or not, it's Kansas. But yeah, right not to the Topeka area, Wichita, Olathe, Lawrence, Manhattan, all that up in there. It may seem like it's nothing. It maybe is too much of nothing. I haven't been there in 20 years, but I've always wanted a reason to go back because it's just a lot of memories there when I was there. A part of my high school when I was there. So I would love to go there. Shout out to Washburn Rule High School, Junior Blues, Topeka, Kansas. Shout out to them. If you know. Phenomenal school that I attended when I was in high school for the brief time. Without being said, I'm going to get up out of here. If you like this content, hit the like button. Share this content. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. I am on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Also, you can find me on YouTube and Rumble. Shout out to everybody who's continuously supporting. Shout out to everybody who is subscribing and watching on the regular. I really appreciate you. Shout out to everybody who's listening daily. The numbers are up. Let me tell you something about how weird this thing is. And I didn't know it was like this. The people who are on the Georgia Southern side of the show, they tend to listen on the podcast avenue more than watch. People on the Atlanta Falcons side tend to be on YouTube and Rumble. I find that really fascinating because if the numbers are low on YouTube for Georgia Southern stuff, it's high on the podcast side and vice versa. But either way, I really appreciate all of that. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. You guys be safe out there because where I live, the temperature is hot, is going up. It's supposed to be like 100 degrees. So if you're in that area and you're in a lot of hot weather, be careful, be safe. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you for all the support once again. You guys take it easy. You guys be blessed. Peace.